If you're looking for a way to control horizontal blinds, this may be just what you're looking for. Today we're going to be looking at the iBlinds Z-Wave Plus 2 to 2.5 inch automated blinds controller. You may remember that I reviewed this product while it was still in Kickstarter mode. Quite a bit has changed, so stay tuned. Hey Smart Homers, John Stone, the DIY Smart Home Guy, here with another tale of normal humans installing home automation devices that are fit for Venetian royalty. iBlinds is a Z-Wave Plus motorized blinds controller that works with Google Home Assistant and Alexa. The unit retails for $149 US with an optional solar power for around 20 bucks. Why automated blinds, you ask? Good question. There's two good answers. One is home security and the other is energy efficiency. You know, to keep those neighbors from peeking in when you're away from home. You know they do it. For full disclosure, I got my unit for free, but I wasn't paid to do this video. Despite this fact, the review will be honest, and you should know I can make commissions if you click on some of those links below. Keep in mind that this is a Z-Wave device. It ain't Bluetooth and it ain't Wi-Fi. You need a Z-Wave compatible hub like Vera, Hubitat, or SmartThings. And even though you can control it with Google and Alexa, you need a Z-Wave hub to make that work. Inside the box, the first thing that you'll see is an important warning to charge the battery for 8 hours before use. We'll do that in a minute. Under the battery warning is this quick start guide. Now that the quick start guide's out of the way, we can see the motor controller. The first thing I noticed is this translucent smoky case, which is different from the beta unit that I reviewed a couple of years ago. It's also a bit wider, so there have been some improvements. Under the boxing is a bag with the charge port cap, some zip ties, the USB power supply, and some double back tape. There's an 8-foot charging cable and this height extension. Here's the charging port, which replaces the tilt rod, and here's the battery. Last but not least, you'll find the tilt rod adapters, which may come in handy. First, let's charge that battery before we install the controller into the blinds. You can also consider this a practice run for when you're ready to install the unit into your blinds. Plug the battery into the red port on the controller. There's this little notch on the plug that should be pointing up. It's a little bit of a tight fit, so make sure that you don't jam it in or you might bend a pin. Then plug the charging port into the controller, and finally the 8-foot cable into the charging port. When it's plugged in, the red LED on the controller means that the unit has power. The amber LED means that the unit is charging. When the unit is charged, the amber LED will turn green. iBlinds also sent me the solar power kit, which comes with a 13-inch by 1.5-inch panel and these two clips for easy mounting. Solar power is a great way to keep these things hassle-free. While that's charging, let's cover some other important details. The battery is said to last for 6 months, but you'll want to recharge it at 4 or 5 month intervals to make sure that this little gem doesn't let you down. If you purchase the solar panel, forget about ever needing to charge it. As I said, iBlinds fits Venetian blinds that are 2 to 2.5 inches wide, which means it's not compatible with roller blinds, mini blinds, cellular, honeycomb, vertical, or cordless blinds. Also note that the controller can only control the tilt angle and not retracting. iBlinds is also capable of having multiple blinds synced together. I've left a link to more information about this topic on my website how-to section for iBlinds. My unit is all charged up, so we are ready to go. Regardless of the hub, I recommend excluding before you install it into your blinds. First, make sure that the battery is switched to I or 1. The 0 on the switch is off. And no, the O is a 0. It is not O for on. It's happened. To exclude, make sure the power supply is unplugged from the controller. Put your hub into exclusion mode, then press and release the N/EX button one time. As an alternative, you can use the button on the charging port, start exclusion, press and release the charging port button one time. Once you're excluded, you are ready to install the iBlinds controller into your headrail. I recommend that you wait to include it into your hub until the blinds are installed to make sure that the blinds join into your mesh network from the right location. And with that, let's put it together. Find a nice flat working surface that is clean so you don't dirty up your blinds. This will make Mama happy. And here's a pro tip. Take pictures and videos of the existing setup so that you have something to refer to when piecing it all back together, and this is just in case you need it. Pull out the tilt rod controller, try not to break it just in case you decide to put it all back together, then pull out the tilt rod itself. Take note of the position of the rollers since these will need to be lined up again at the end of the process. This is really important. Then install the charging port. You'll need the little cap that came in that plastic bag we talked about earlier. Get everything lined up and snap it into place. Notice that I fed the charging cable under the roller assembly. Do the same with the battery cable. Next, reinsert the tilt rod. Notice the position of the rollers are identical. If you get these wrong, trouble's a-comin'. Insert the double back tape onto the battery and install the battery, being very careful not to interfere with the tilt rod rotation. Once it's in, you won't be able to remove it. Check all the wiring and the strings to make sure that everything is clear. Once you're settled, you can clean up the wiring with the included zip ties. Dry fit the blinds to make sure that everything is on target. If not, clean up your mess and try again. If you purchase the solar panel, install that before you hang the blinds for the final time. It's easier to insert the solar panel plug when the motor is out of the headrail. Don't route this wire under the roller. Pay attention to the wiring so that it remains close to the motor. Once everything's installed, rehang the blinds. Reinstall the valance. And clean up any ugly that you might have left behind. Oh, and do not forget to make sure that you have that battery turned on. That's the I, not the 0. And now we're ready to pair. Before you start the pairing process, you will want to make sure that you have the custom device handler for SmartThings or Hubitat. You know the drill, so we're going to skip over that. But there are links in the description below. In your app, put the hub into pairing mode. Press and release the button on the charging port. Don't hold the button in. That does something completely different. The device should come in pretty quick. If you're having trouble pairing the device, you may want to try an AOTech range extender. Model 6 or Model 7 will work. In some cases, after pairing, this still shows up as a generic device. You may need to go into Hubitat or SmartThings and manually switch the device driver. Once the device is included in the hub and the drivers are properly set, press and hold the button on the charging port for 7 to 10 seconds to initiate the calibration sequence. Let it do its thing. And when it stops, you're all set. Okay, so we have got the blinds in. Let's do a quick test with the app. And here is a pretty nifty automation tip for you. If you want manual control, meaning not the app and not your home assistant, you can use either a zwave button or, in my case, I'm using this Lutron Pico remote. I have the remote configured to preset blind openings just to make it a little bit more user-friendly. There's a list of remote candidates on my website. Go check it out. And if you're looking for support, I have left a link to the iBlinds community and the knowledge base in the description below. And if you're looking for fellow smart homers, stop by the DIY Smart Home Guy Facebook group. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free, and it's pretty painless. Stop in and say hi. And thanks to HAB Home Intelligence for sending over this unit. Until next time, and from my little friend, cheers.